What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another day, another episode of The Daily Grind. I'm your host, 30NSG, and on today's show, we're going to be talking about 3 months after launch, Star Wars Outlaws' next big update is starting to sound like a whole new open-world game. Okay, we're going to talk about exclusive. Sony is in talks to buy media powerhouse behind Elden Ring. So those of you that don't know, it's FromSoft. Assassin's Creed EP admits that Ubisoft does not know where their players are and how the company can reach them. That's always good news, right? That's always good. Also, Ubisoft executive says that Assassin's Creed Shadow devs think it's the worst thing they've ever seen. We don't know what that means, but it sounds bad. And then also, that's it. That's it. We have four topics today. If you guys like what we do here, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning till noon Eastern. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. What's going on, chat? Good morning. What's going on, Travis, Eclipse, Jason, Big Mo, Water Bear? Who am I missing? Already said that. Super Dave, good morning. Krebsy, good morning. Drummond, good morning. How's everyone doing? Drummond says, I want to let you know, for you and I was the fourth to like the stream, and I hope you're doing and having a good day. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Artemis, what's going on? Good morning. Altern, good morning. There's a bot. There's the bot Rix. Good old bot, always in the chat. There was something that you set up above Eclipse. Where are you? Let me see where you said. You said something. Oh, here it is. You said, Eclipse said, I'm surprised since the Game Awards is putting on all these remasters and remakes. Why didn't Persona 3 get on there? And I think it deserved it if everything else does. I'm surprised Yazuka. I know I'm pronouncing that incorrectly. But I'm surprised, was it Like a Dragon? Didn't get on more nominations, right? Here's the thing. I know a lot of you guys, and I brought it up yesterday before we ended the show, right? We looked at all the scores, the top games that were in for Game of the Year running. And all of them but Black Myth Wukong were under, a 90, right? The way I look at stuff, right? The way I look at stuff is if it's a award show that all games above a certain, like the highest numbers in, if it's Metacritic, OpenCritic, if you take all of the scores from all the different review places and then you put them together, whatever the 6 highest are, I think that should be the ones that are in the running for Game of the Year. Okay, because you're talking about the best games of the year, and I know Black Myth Wukong is a great game and people love it. But if you go by what I'm saying here, then that wouldn't have made the list. Other games would have made the list. Okay. 2, DLCs, as we talk about, right, should not be in at least that category as far as the best game of the year, because I have a question. If you don't own Elden Ring, go ahead and try to play the DLC. I'll wait. Right? You can't play it unless you own the game. So that automatically says, hey, you can't play the DLC unless you have the game. So it's a DLC. So it can't stand alone as a video game compared to the other ones that you don't need to buy. You see what I'm saying? Like, you have to own the other game to play that game. So, and I know people are like, well, it's such a good DLC, it could stand alone. But it didn't. It didn't. It wasn't a sequel. It was a DLC to a game. Okay? If Phantom Liberty last year was in the continuation or the ongoing game, then Elden Ring should have been in that category as well, instead of, Game of the Year category. Right? Like, if we look at the top games, right, across the board, regardless, Artemis, if it's 80 on the console, right, because the optimization stuff was right. I'm just saying that if you want to vote for something, you got to pick the top of the top games, okay? Regardless if you think that Black Myth Wukong is a fantastic game, but the score is not as high as the rest of those games in that category. Now, it's in the category now, and it could win. I'm just saying it looks a little weird. Brought it up yesterday, right before we ended. I was like, man, that's the only one under a 90. Everything else is above a 90. Somebody says, Kuda, I'm going to butcher this. Kadu Kawa is the parent company to FromSoft. Oh, is that who they're buying? I didn't even read the we don't read the articles until we read them online first with you guys. And so are they buying? If they buy that, they're buying FromSoft is what it is. So they're not buying just FromSoft. They're buying the parent company, and they're underneath the umbrella of that. Super Dave says DLC should not be in the Game of the Year category. Right. Look, you guys know where I stand with remasters and remakes. I'll let those go by, but DLCs, no way. No way. I don't care how good it is. You need the game to play the DLC, and that game is not a standalone game. Eclipse says, I even said I don't think Black Myth should be there, and it's my game of the year, but I didn't expect it to be nomination. There's so many games over that. That's what I don't understand. Like, it's almost like when we talk about actors, we're like, why do they keep picking the same actors when there's so many actors out there, right? There's so many video games that came out, but yet they didn't have enough to pick 6, so they had to pick a DLC. It's like, what? What? Krebsy says the outlets voting in games gave Black Myth loads of shit to the point that they said game's sexist when the game's about a monkey. Then they has less reviews than other titles. Sure, but a score's a score, right? A score's a score. It can have less reviews, right? Because if you do that substance of, well, less scores mean not credible. Well, then the scores that they did for even games like Dustborn that had like 7 people play it, okay, and they only got like 5 reviews or whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's still a score. The score that it got from the reviews it got is still much lower than the ones that got higher amounts of people reviewing. I mean, if we're going to compare, let's say some reviews had 150 outlets and then others had 300 outlets, right? You know, like how many did... I don't even know. Let's see. I just typed in Starfield reviews, right? Starfield reviews across PC Gamer, 75%, Metacritic, 83%, GameSpot, 7 out of 10, whatever. All right. 3,893 ratings of this. Now, if I go to Metacritic for Starfield, right? It's got 90 critic reviews at 83. Okay. So only 90 critics played the game, where if you look at other games out there for other, they have like over 150 or 170 review critics, right? So I don't care how many people did it. It's the score just in general. Like, it shouldn't be up there if you look at all the rest of the games. Like, what was the other one? Let's see. Like a Dragon. Kazuka got Like a Dragon. That got an 84. Infinite Wealth got an 89. Let's see. Helldivers 2 got an 82. I don't know. I just think the top game should be the top of the top with the scores all around. For at least that last category. It's the best game of the year. Jason says Balatro is going to win. Here's the only thing I think it's a little fishy, Jason. Because at the last second they said, well, DLCs are allowed to make it into categories, all categories, and then Elden Ring is in that category. It kind of makes me think that they're going to win. That might not be the reason. right? But to just a couple days before say that DLCs are now eligible for all categories and then announcing Elden Tree inside Game of the Year kind of sets it up, doesn't it? James says Sony's trying to keep Bloodborne and its sequels exclusive to buy from us from FromSoft. Look, we'll get to it when we get to that conversation, Thomas. I think it's if they do pick it up, it's a huge deal. But I'll tell you what, I don't think it stays exclusive. Like, it'd be a huge mistake, especially because if you look at the Dark Souls and how much they sold, and then compared to like Elden Ring, what they sold because it went multi-plat, it'd be really dumb for them to take that game, get exclusive, and then only put it behind the PlayStation. But we'll get there. Sarge says, because the awards show is a joke and not credible, it's just a platform to push weak game sales up. Sure. Well, it's a big advertisement. I won't even say weak game sales, Sarge. I just say it's a big advertisement. That's what it is. That's why the award show happens before Christmas for the holiday season. Artemis says, funny how the game like Balatro can get a Game of the Year category when in 2021, Forza Horizon 5 is the highest rated Game of the Year and couldn't get a nod. Yeah, it's weird like that, isn't it, Artemis? And I'm not saying it's biased towards like Xbox or anything. I just personally think that the top of the top game should be the highest score of the year. Okay? Because, again, it's not voted by the people. It's voted by the outlets that are voting for that. We only get 10% of the vote, which really is nothing. Okay? So if the outlets give it a 95 or a 96 or a 97, whatever it is, anything that's the highest rated games from the outlets that are voting should be in the contention of Game of the Year, in my opinion. Artemis also says Street Fighter 6 last year had a 92 last year and snubbed. Fighters and racers are not considered but a card game. It's interesting. Yeah, it's a huge marketing campaign, Altern. I mean, we can all agree to this, right? We can all agree that the Game Awards, as if Keighley was trying to go for the pure fan of, I love video games and I just want a place where people can pick the best video games and reward the video games, that's not what it is anymore. If that's how it started, that's not where it is, right? Can we all admit that? Can we all admit that the Game Awards might have started off as, oh yeah, I want to make this Game Award, but now is a very big money maker for Keighley, his corporation, his company, whatever, and how it advertises for the video game industry, right? It's not like a small little gaming show that, like the little engine that could. It's a conglomerate company that is using the platform to make a shit ton of money and to advertise the next games coming out for the holiday and for next year, right? And I'm not giving shit for it. I totally get it. But where it started and where it is are two different things. Travis says, I'm not being a jerk. I'm seriously asking you, doesn't it have to be optics that they change the rules so they could get the reward? It's screaming favoritism. Again, Travis, if it happens to win, if Elden Ring happens to win, then we can connect the dots and say, change the rules, they got it in, and then it wins. Sure. But if Balatro wins or Astro Boy wins, then it wouldn't really matter, right? Obviously, it matters for the other categories because there's DLCs and stuff and remakes and remasters in the other categories. But I think the big one, the big one is the Game of the Year, right? Regardless if you like the rewards or not, everyone looks at what the Game of the Year is. Now, I personally don't care if you're nominated. It's a win, right? It's a win. But there's people out there that look at this as the one-all, be-all of award shows. So when you're looking at this saying that the award show and the top 6 games of the year, that's a huge deal for a lot of people. Like, see? They'll go back and say it won Game of the Year at this award show. I personally look at the BAFTRAs. I've said this for the last couple of years. I said the BAFTRAs are, to me, it's the peers of the people in the industry voting on their also constituents of the industry, okay? And they vote on which is the best games in the industry based on the people that made the games. And I think that's the way it should go. Because if you have the people vote, there's ways to skew it. There's favoritism. There's a whole bunch of stuff like that as far as... And that can happen with the outlets itself. But the people in the BAFTRAs, there are people that work in the industry, not outlets, people that work in the industry voting for other people's games and who's the best of the best. Right? They're mired by them. They look at them and say, man, that was really good. We did good, but they did really great. And they're all voting across the board. Krebsy says, what I'm saying is the nominations are dedicated by the outlets. Let's say there's 100 outlets. Only 50 outlets reviewed Wuhong. And then let's say there's 100 reviewed Final Fantasy VII. If you didn't review it, why is it nominated? That's true as well, right? I see what you're saying. Because there's 100 people from these outlets that are voting for it, but they didn't even play those games, then how can they nominate? How can they nominate it? Well, let me explain it a little bit this way. If there's 100 outlets and only 50 outlets reviewed Wukong, okay, what about if every single one of those people that reviewed it voted for it to be in? That would be 50%, right? The other 50 didn't vote, but there's still 50 people where the other 50 didn't vote for it, but they voted for other things. So Wuhong was one of the top spots in that overall people that voted, right? Maybe the people that didn't like it, but a majority of them liked it, hence why it got in. So it doesn't matter if it had 150 reviews or if it had 50 reviews. Maybe every single one of the people that reviewed it nominated it. What is the structure of nominating a game? Metacritic score, sales, creativity. Tell me the criteria for picking a nominee, and I might believe in the system. Otherwise, it's a joke. I think it's a bunch of different things, Sarge. I think it's their own personal opinions plus the game sales plus value is I think what they read. Let me see if they say it on their site. Let me see if they say it on the site. Frequently asked questions. When is the Game Awards? Co-stream. 10 out of 10. Expect the show. Awards process. Okay. Let me bring this up. Sarge is asking. So let's bring it up. Okay. How are nominees selected? Nominees for the most categories of the Game Awards are chosen by the internal jury of over 100 global media influencers outlets selected for the history of the critical video game evaluation. Specialization juries also convey of the categories included esports, accessibility, and best adaptation. Each voting outlet completes a confidential, unranked ballot based on collective and diverse opinion on the entire editorial staff, listing out on its top 5 choices in each category. Ballots are tabulated, and the 5 games that appear on the most ballots are put forth as nominees. In the event of a tie, 6 or more nominees will be announced in a category. So Game Award producer Jeff Keighley is not a member of the jury and does not vote on the nominees or the winners, similar to the Game Awards adversary boards, and no involvement in the awards process, and learns the results at the same time as the general public. So this is how it's voted. So 100 outlets, and there might be 1,000 people per outlet or whatever, 5 people, 10 people, 1,000 people, whatever it is. They all write their things down. What do you think the best game is, right? So if I asked you right now in chat, what are your favorite top 5 games? And everyone's going to put a whole bunch of different stuff, right? If Wuhong popped up on the majority of your things, then that would be one of the nominees, right? The top 5 or top 6 of everyone that said stuff. So one game might get 1 vote, one game might get 1,000 votes, one game might get... So that's what it is, right? So now what Krebsy is saying, how can an outlet of 100 outlets, there's 100 outlets, but there's people that work at those outlets. So then it's those people that individually played it that maybe didn't give a review. They just played it, liked the game, and said, you know what, this is a good game, and then they put it on. So it has nothing to do with how many reviews are on OpenCritic. Doesn't matter how many reviews are on Metacritic. Doesn't have any bearing on anything except for there's 100 outlets, and the people that work on those outlets get to vote, and they put in, and they tally the top 5 or top 6 in each of the categories. Okay? So that's what it looks like. Kylo says, I hope Elatro wins. Go on, Hilly. Good morning. Go on, Ron. Travis says this already screams favoritism, Mike. Who cares if fans put the bias? They've already done it. I mean, how would you rate it? No matter what you do, there's some sort of favoritism in a way, right? Like, for instance, well, if a game gets nominated by the outlets, but the review sites, just based off the review, not the hundreds of people that work at the company, just a person that puts it out there. Like, IGN gets 1 vote, and their vote is that's a 7 out of 10. And then another outlet says 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10, and then at the end of the year, they look at all the reviews from all the outlets, from that one review from the outlet. Then you can skew it by going, well, you can't give it such a low score because then we have to give it a somewhat of a high score so it gets at least in the running, right? You can skew it that way. If you put it to the people, you're going to have a favoritism, popularity contest. That's not going to work either, right? So you have to have some sort of way of deciding it. This is why I like the BAFTRAs, because the BAFTRAs are decided, okay, based on the people working in the industry themselves, not outlets, the actual industry. So the studios are voting on the other studios. Artemis says, I'm still here trying to figure out what is considered an ongoing game. Helldivers 2, they're based on what? Make a new category of a new live service games? Helldivers is constantly updated. Helldivers is a live service game, right? They're constantly adding stuff, different events, different things. They're constantly changing it as they go, right? That's technically a real live service game. The rest of them are make changes, then it lasts the season 12 weeks or whatever. Helldivers is literally changing on the fly every single week after a thing is done. Constantly changing. Fortnite is changing all the time, right? That's a live service game. I don't think MMOs should be in the live service category. I think those should be ongoing. There should be live service, and there should be ongoing, or there should be just MMOs in general. Artemis says, Jeff's not voting, but 100 of his closest friends are. People are already giving Game Awards shit for Elden Ring being nominated. Can't imagine the reaction if it actually wins. I mean, they did it. It would look a little weird, but they did it. Go on, Sin. Ellie says, the Game Awards is curated corruption. Kylo says, I haven't played No Man's Sky, but I feel like it's at least deserved as a nod for ongoing game. Yeah, it's in the ongoing game, isn't it? I thought it made it to the ongoing game. Did it not? Here, let me go to the categories. Best ongoing. Oh no, it didn't. See, that's crazy. That's crazy. How does No Man's Sky not make the nomination for best ongoing game? It's been literally supported for 8 years, constantly updating all the time. How does it not make it? See, I don't think Final Fantasy should be in this category. I think all MMOs should be in a separate category. Right? I don't think Final Fantasy should be here. That's a straight up MMO. Right? There should be a whole category for best MMO of 2024, New World, World of Warcraft, Final Fantasy. Make a category just for MMOs. If you can have a category, right? If you can have the category for best RPG and best other stuff, where do they have MMO? I don't think they do. Best strategy, best racing, best multiplayer. I guess multiplayer. But that could be co-op or whatever. Sarge says, use common sense and stop using bad vocabulary to fit games into a category they don't belong in. Elden Ring is a DLC, not a game. Ongoing game is an MMO, not a battle pass in the seasons. Well, I would say that those games with battle passes and seasons are ongoing games, but I would put MMOs in a separate category completely, Sarge. Krebsy says, I also found this out. Amazon, as an exclusive retailer sponsor of the Game Awards 10th anniversary, so what would this entail? Is Xbox, Sony, etc. not allowed to do this discounts? Maybe. I don't know. That's interesting, Krebsy. Is the BAFTA streamed everywhere? No. The BAFTA is just an award. It happens in, I want to say February. I think it happens in February. Right. Why isn't Halo, Sea of Thieves, or Overwatch? But that's what I'm saying, Mo. Right? The ongoing category and stuff is weird, and so is MMOs, to be honest with you, because those games came out years ago. Right? If you're doing a award show every single year, 2023, 2024, you got to pick games that came out this year, right? And if you come out this year and say, well, best MMO this year, maybe one year there's no MMOs that come out, so you wouldn't have a category that year. Which I think is okay. World says, the only reason I even watch the Game Awards is for the announcements. I could care less about the rewards. Well, that's what one of our polls is that we're doing right now, right? Why do you watch the Game Awards? Is it for the awards? Is it for upcoming games? Or is it all of the above? Billy says, the Satisfactory didn't get a nom in Sims. Strategy is beyond me. Game has 96% on over 166,000 reviews on Steam. Yes, a PC-only game not included. Guess they are just choosing the quality just on funds. Well, that's another thing, Hilly. I think a lot of these games are not just on one console or one platform, right? I think they have to be on multi-plats, right? Is Satisfactory, and I don't know this, I'm asking, is Satisfactory on anything but PC? Palworld is in early access, Mo. I don't think early access games should be nominated in any category because they're not out yet. Yeah, there's so many horror games, Jason, and yet no category for horror games. Yeah, Titan said it. Palworld early access. Yeah, that's why. Any game that's early access, I don't think should be nominated. Artemis says Destiny 2 shouldn't be in there, but Destiny should win so we can see the remnants of Bungie accept the reward. I said this yesterday, Artemis. I don't know if you were here. I think Destiny wins just because it's the last. It's been out for 10 years, right? They won Best Community and stuff like that. Destiny's never been in or never won any of those things. So for Best Ongoing, for Best Ongoing, maybe Destiny wins this year. And I compared it to like Lord of the Rings in the film industry. Like Lord of the Rings, the year it came out was like a phenomenal film. Best Director, Best Picture, didn't win. Then it didn't win the second year after because for whatever reason. But they gave it to Peter Jackson, the final film that came out. Because it was the final finale of it. And then they're like, yeah, let's give it to him. Right? And I feel like that's how it works. Now, obviously, we don't have any proof of this. But I feel like the Academy's like, well, let's not give it to him now. Let's give it to someone else. Because if he wins this year, he could win next year. And he could sweep it 3 years. Which, if that's the case, then let it happen. But I believe the Academy's like, well, we can't let him win this year and next year. So let's not let him win any of these 2 years, and then let's give him to him for the third year to kind of like wrap it up for him as like a send off for what a great picture series for this. You know what I mean? Like I feel like they do that with some stuff like that. Again, just my speculation, but it feels like that. The problem is the BAFTRAs need to be streamed everywhere. Not enough coverage, less popular, less relevant. It's funny, it's the less relevant in front of the public eye, but it's actually the most respected in the industry. It really is. Right? You got to remember, Titan, a lot of these reward shows, the Oscars, the Emmys, the Billboard, before television, these things, I mean, they were always there, but before television, these weren't marketed. They were just, I work events. I used to work events all the time in the convention centers, right? Like Pfizer would have their own award show. Now think about this for a second. When I tell you that Pfizer, the medical company, right, for pills and stuff, they have their own award show, it makes the Oscars look like a fucking, like a preschool. Okay, they spend so much money on the setup of their stuff. They're wearing like like they're going to the Oscars. Okay? There's so many people that win awards and they're winning money and all this stuff, and we're filming it for them, for their in-house, so they can show it to other people for promotion stuff. But you don't know if that exists. Okay? That's how it used to be for the film industry. That's how it used to be for the music industry. That's how it used to be for the video game industry. But then they noticed that they can make money. They can put advertisements. Who else would like to see, James Dean come across the stage and we can brought to you by, and then you put it across the thing, right? So BAFTA and DICE, as Mo's saying, are just for the insiders, just for the people in the industry itself, like the studios, the publishers, whatever, and they're all voting amongst their peers. Okay? I don't think they need to televise that, because that is the respectable one. It's not a joke. It's not to sprawl out in front of the town square to everyone to watch. It's them voting on their fellow employees and fellow people in the industry, and then they get their awards. I'll be honest. I guarantee you most developers don't give two shits about the Game Awards. The Game Awards is the MTV Movie Awards and MTV Music Awards compared to the Billboard and the Oscars. That's what it is. The Game Awards is the MTV award show, or the Nickelodeon award show. That's what it is. Given how the rules are, Hi-Fi Rush was snubbed for Game of the Year last year. Yeah, but it still won awards. It won awards for what it was. But you're right. I don't either, but if we're putting DLCs and remakes, why not early access? Hey, that's not a bad idea, Mo. If you're going to put that stuff in, you can make a category of games that are out but are not out yet. Which one's the best one? Come on, Cisco. Platforms shouldn't be a factor in the category or designed and include massive games for absolutely no reason. I'm out on the Game Awards, but we'll watch the announcements the day after. Oh, come on, Hilly. You got to come by and watch us for GXG. We're gonna have a panel of us all talking and bullshitting the entire time. And the reason I say that, Hilly, is it's a joke, really, because if Satisfactory is not, and it's only on PC, then Astrobot shouldn't be up there either, because it's only on PlayStation. You see what I'm saying? Obviously, it shouldn't matter about the platform it's on. It should look at, like, it's one of the best strategy games out there, so it should get nominated. What do they have for best strategy game? Best sim strategy game. Frostpunk, Path of Goddess, Manor Lords, and Unicorn Overlord. I'll be honest, I only know of 2 of the games, and I've heard of the third. Haven't heard of Unicorn or Path of Goddess. I haven't heard of them. Maybe it's just there's a lot of games that come out and it just didn't make it. You know what I mean? I don't know these 2. Manor Lords I've heard of. Frostpunk I played the first one. That's a good game. That should be up there. Age of Mythology Retold. Again, is that considered a remake, a remaster? It's a retold. You know what I mean? Krebsy says, just nominate GTA 6 for everything in 2024 and 2025 Game Awards. That's right, Titan. Come for the React Awards. That's right. Yeah, I feel, Hilly, that the games that are at the higher tiers, again, if the people voting, like Krebsy said earlier, are the people voting on the games and the scores are high, then you should take the top 5, top 6 of every category of the people that reviewed it, and those are the games that should be up there, right? Make a game, sell a game. Mo says Path of Goddess is in Game Pass. All right. Let me start off with... I don't know what these are, right? Obviously, these are from Fandom Pulse. Okay, now we've never read an article from these guys before, so maybe we did. I'm not even too sure. Maybe we have, because John F. Trent sounds familiar. So I think we've talked about one of his articles before, but regardless, we read stories that I haven't read. I read them for the first time on stream. If you like what we do here, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. We just read news stories, have conversations. Again, if you like it, hit that like button. All right, so Assassin's Creed EP, okay, I'm assuming it's executive producer, admits that Ubisoft does not know where players are and how the company can reach them. Well, that's always good, right? You're in a company, you're like, hey, we got something going on. We're making a game for people that we don't know who we're making it for, but how do we reach them? Good question. Good question. Okay. So Assassin's Creed executive producer Mark Alex Cote recently admitted that Ubisoft does not know where players are and does not know how to reach players with its games. Good night. How do you in what world are you making video games? This is like Hasbro making toys that doesn't want to make toys for people. How do you make video games and not know who you're making games for and how to reach those players? For God's sakes. During a Q&A portion of the interview of the XDS24 conference, Cote was asked on how external development will affect Ubisoft in the next 3 to 5 years. He responded, quote, I think we are in an era of peak change. I don't know what the industry is going to look like in 5 years, but clearly we're transforming. And I think it can also create anxiety. I see it as a challenge, and we need to solve together because whether it's a AAA game or even a more indie space, the recipe for success has been in the last maybe 20 years is dramatically shifting. Okay. He continues by saying, so we still need to innovate. He continued, we need to control our costs because we have a ballooned clearly over the last 5 years. This question feels like, you ever watch, I know a lot of you don't watch sports ball, as you guys call it, right? But in sports, when someone wins a game, they're like, how did you do it? And they're like, well, we just kind of outplayed the other team. We just kind of threw the ball farther than them, and we scored more points than them, and that's how we did it. And you're like, brilliant. That's brilliant. That's what this sounds like, right? Well, how do you have to do it? Well, you still need to innovate and continue. And, we also control the cost because it's ballooned too much. It's like, yeah, obviously we know these things. You shouldn't have to say these things. Yeah, our costs are going up and then we just can't afford it. Thank you. Thank you for that. Next, we shared how the company does not know where the players are and does not know how to get them to play their games. They don't know where. It's like playing, like Ubisoft is a toddler. And you just did this. Peekaboo. And they're like, oh, where did you come from? I don't know where did the players go? I don't know where they went. Oh my God. Like they're confused, like they're infants. Okay. He said, we need to find where players are, which has been a question I've been having for the last 2 years. Where are the players? What are they playing? Where do we reach them? All of this will become clear in the coming years as the industry transforms. Ironically, earlier the same interview, Cote revealed that one of the company's main goals with this is the people. Let me read that again, just so I'm trying to grasp it. Okay, Cote revealed that one of the company's main goals with its games is to change people. Okay, he revealed that one of the first questions that the CEO Guillemont asks when he is also being pitched to developers within the games is, "What will players learn?" Cote explained why he asked this question. What I think has driven, I don't know how to pronounce that, Yavis for 37 years now, is the idea that video games can change the world and start changing the world by changing people. Okay? That's what people want. They want to be changed. Okay? Okay? So if you give them something to think about while they're having fun, right? If they can learn something, then you can change one person. You can change the world. Oh, boy. I want to be entertained. We just want to be entertained. We don't want to be changed. Okay? We just want to play games. Okay, regardless, Cote admission that Ubisoft does not know where players are and does not know what games they are playing reflects a year of disaster for the company. The company released Skull and Bones earlier this year and eventually on Steam in August, and the game only peaked a concurrent player account of 2,615. I'm just so baffled. I'm baffled. I'm baffled that these people run a company and they don't understand what gamers want. Okay, you had a game like Skull and Bones changed 5 times from over the last decade of what they had to what it is. Okay, and they're confused why no one's playing it, right? And you'll have the defenders saying, "Ah, it's a good game, it's a fun game." No, it's taking your time up, but it's not fun. Okay, if it was fun, people would be playing it. People would be buying it. People would be enjoying it, okay? Not the minuscule amount of people, the larger amount of people. You know, the people they can't find, okay? So similar to, it's also Prince of Persia Lost Crown in January to Switch, PlayStation, and Xbox, but it did not arrive on Steam until August. The game peaked with 1,446 players and been rumored that the team that developed the game was completely disbanded, with the host of French language or Origami YouTube channel shared. In recent days, Ubisoft Monopeller was also transporting boxes from one floor to another, and also quite simple because that's also a dissolution. Did not announce to public, but completely on the team of Prince of Persia. Okay, it says the company also released a free-to-play looter shooter called X Defiant in May, and the game's executive producers Mark Rubin revealed that the game's player count are down amidst rumors that Ubisoft might shut the game down in the end of Season 4 due to low player counts and poor monetization. Now, Rubin wrote on X that, to be crystal clear, there are no plans to shut down after Season 4, right, probably Season 5, okay? They've literally been in the meetings as of last week to discuss our Year 2 plans, but right now we're super focused on improving the technical experience. This is because they still have problems with the game that they released that shouldn't have been released yet, okay? It should have waited another 18 months, but hey, whatever. He also then admitted that player numbers are down. We've done very little marketing, so yes, our numbers are down, but it's also just give the team the time to get the game in better place before do bigger spends on the market. Bring new players to the game and bring players back, or bring back players that left. They ain't coming back. They ain't coming back. You know why? Because it's an oversaturated market. There is so many multiplayer PvP shooters that not only... Obviously, X Defiant is free, but you got to not only keep them there, but you got to constantly update it. You got to constantly keep putting stuff in. You got to constantly respect the player's time to feel like they're putting something in your game so they don't go off somewhere else, okay? It's literally the guy, the dog from Up. It's like, hey, I really like the... What? Squirrel! That's the player base of PvP games right now, right? What are you doing for me lately? What are you bringing to the game? What are you doing, right? You're not going to get the mass amount of numbers anymore. You got to focus on the group of people that is playing your game and why are they playing your game and how do you keep them there, okay? It's really hard to bring new players in except for when it first launches. And if your game doesn't work when it first launches, then you're going to have problems with the game because they'll go somewhere else where they're having less problems, okay? It says the company's biggest flop was Star Wars Outlaws. The game was supposed to sell at least 5 million copies in the first copy based on conversations estimated from financial analysts. However, the rumor from Insider Gamer claims the game only sold 1 million copies in the first month, which is devastating for that game. Devastating. Okay. Ubisoft has yet not released any official numbers, but it did admit the game's sales underperformed. Well, of course they didn't release any numbers because that would then, solidify that the million copies in the first month is true. Okay. So they're like, now let's just stay quiet because remember, if they wanted to tell you about the numbers, they would scream it from the rooftops if it did well. But when they don't say anything, that means it did astronomically terrible. Okay. Looking at you, Star Wars Outlaws, looking at you, Veilguard. Okay. Ubisoft announced that Drew Rancher would also be the game's new creative director, seamlessly replacing Julian. Okay. Which is not a big deal. Okay. The game is done, except for the DLC type of stuff, and Julian's moving on to Division 3. Finally, in the wake of Star Wars Outlaws' seemingly massive financial disaster, the company delayed Assassin's Creed Shadows from its November release date to February 14th. Rumor indicates that the company is making a massive change to the game. Tom Henderson claimed that the company has changing some of Yazuke's, I can't pronounce his fucking name, Yasuke, chat, just correct me in the chat. to portray the game as fixing architectural details. I don't feel like I'm not. It's not that I don't want to say it correctly. I'm not trying to dishonor it in any way, shape, or form. I just terrible at pronouncing shit like this. Okay, and the game's historical ground while fitting into the Assassin's Creed universe. Henderson also added that the game is currently not in stage it needs to be for release. I'm also told that there's also have been tweaks of some gameplay mechanics and elements that are also going to take time to incorporate. Okay. YouTuber Endymion also shared information from his source that claimed that the Ubisoft is planning to make changes to him. And one of the things is for sure getting removed from Shadows, according to his sources, is indeed the rap hip-hop music. Okay. Apparently, Ubisoft brought out the questionnaires, and they were also anonymously told that the rap music was totally wrong and completely unneeded. It was actually offensive that Ubisoft believed that it needed hip-hop battle theme in that game. It was also well before such music existed, and also only implemented cause that he was black. Okay. Quote, there's also going to be removing dialogue from the game, according to my source told me that they also could actually enrage players if they heard it. It added, so I'm assuming it's across the lines of sort of like what's happening with Veilguard. Okay. It says, I wasn't given the concrete example of what kind of dialogue, but what the sources assumed that it may also been saying that some sort of psycho-political pandering nonsense about was told by white men or something, and he also hates white men and white supremacy must be abolished and such. Quote, there's also removing this because, of course, there was also a game it would also be absolutely be highlighted and used to distract even more people from supporting the game in the future. That's what he stated. So, what do you make of Cote admitting that the game's management of Ubisoft seamlessly has no clue what they're doing in the current video game market, which is just baffling, man. All right? Like, what? How is it that a company that is a multi-million billion doesn't know where their player base is? They don't know how to get the players. They don't know where the people are. Like, how is that a thing? Like, what are you doing as the head of a studio, as a head of a publication, that you have no idea? You're like, oh, I don't know. I just don't know where the players are. This is insane. This is insane to me. This is insane. Okay. But we'll see. I have another article from these guys in a little bit, but these are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe, and if you like what I do here, check out some of our other videos. Thanks for watching. That's insane to me that Ubisoft executive producer is just baffled. Like it's like John Travolta from Pulp Fiction, that meme. Like, where's the players? They don't know where the players are. Let me scroll back up and see what you guys are saying here. Ron Slusher says, Ubisoft needs to just do an OnlyFans. Watch their revenue go up. Hilly says, I just want a fucking game. I'm sorry, I ad-libbed, Hilly. I just want a game, for fuck's sake. Jason says, Ubisoft is still getting used to people not buying their games, right? We don't want to own them. They don't want to buy them, right? They don't understand that we don't want to buy them. Get used to us not buying your games. Altern says, I want to be changed, says the CEO, and had harassment HR covering shit up allegations going into inside the company. Travis says, I can't argue with people who hate Sony. You're talking to Jason. All right. You got to store a line of G Fuel to keep up with TTK in X Defiant. It's not fun. Well, it's not fun because also the code is bad, right? Just not good. Which I had a video back in October last year, 12 months ago. I said if they come out with the game as is, it's not going to make it. Are you singing a Michael Jackson song, Mo? Sarge says, the industry is out of touch with consumers. Their game analysts are worth dog shit, and they don't know the market. Fire them. Stop being lazy and copy pasta everything. Game sales are not a given. Yeah, nothing's ever a given. Billy says, did you check behind the sofa? Whenever I lose something often, it's fallen out of my pockets while chilling. Yeah, check behind the sofa. Oh, there's all our customers. They're behind the sofa. So ridiculous. Kevsey says, this is covered in all other articles, but the same executive has also said this. Assassin's Creed Shadow devs thinks it's the worst thing. Yeah, I have that article we're going to talk about, Kebsy. I have that. We're going to read that one. Eclipse says, yeah, the netcode's better. I would like them more than Call of Duty multiplayer. Right, but that's the problem, Eclipse. They released the game with the netcode broke. And they knew it was going to be broke 12 months ago. And yet they still released it 6 months later in May. And now they're still having the problems and wondering what's happening. They're like, oh, why are people not playing X Defiant? Well, I don't know. Maybe because your netcode sucks and they're going to other games that their netcode doesn't suck. And they're like, well, how do we get them back? You could have just made a game and sold the game where it wasn't broke in the beginning, but no, they're like, let's push it out there. Let's push it out there as fast as possible. Here, let's just go to the next one. All right, let's go to the next one. This one long? This one seems pretty long too. Jesus. All right. Let's scroll back up. We might not read the whole article. We'll see what happens here. All right, if you guys like what I do here, we just read articles. Give you my thoughts and opinions on the article itself. Okay, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. I do appreciate you very much. Please hit that like button. Interact with the chat if you're in the comments section. We have lots of other videos. We do this every single morning, Monday through Thursday, from 10 o'clock in the morning until noon Eastern. So, Ubisoft executive, okay, says that Assassin's Creed Shadows devs think this is the worst thing they've ever seen. That can't... Obviously, we're going to read the article, but that title, that can't be... Like, it's quoted. Think it's the worst thing they've ever seen. This is phenomenal. This is phenomenal. Okay. Ubisoft executive producer for Assassin's Creed franchise, Kote, who we just talked about in the other article, says that a number of developers on the Assassin's Creed Shadows believe that this game is the worst thing they've ever seen. So the executive producer has talked to the developers of Assassin's Creed Shadows and the developers of this game. Coming from the executive producer, okay, this is the worst thing they've ever seen. This is phenomenal. That's always a good selling point. During a Q&A portion of the interview, we also revealed that many of the people working on Ubisoft Assassin's Creed franchise have no experience with the franchise. That's also fantastic, huh? That's really how you're going to sell some stuff. We're really passionate about what we do here at Ubisoft. The people that are working on this game have never worked on this game ever before. They don't even know what the franchise is. They've never played one of the other 14 Assassin's Creeds before this to realize have no experience with the actual franchise. Amazing. Okay. He said one of the things that we've noticed since the pandemic is that we have a lot of juniors in our teams. I think we could just stop right there. I think we can just stop right there. I don't think we have to read on anymore. This is exactly what we've been talking about for multiple games. For multiple games. Take this exact same thing and implement it to other studios. Now, obviously, we can't 100% factually say it's that for the other studios, but Rocksteady, we know, is not the same people that made the Batman games. It's less people that never worked on the franchise before. They're brand new people. Perhaps maybe they're juniors on the team. Battlefield 2042, which we know have never, 80% of them are not the old people. So only less than 20% of the people are people that have never worked on a Battlefield series ever, right? Right? I'm sorry. Yeah, only 20% of the people that have worked on a Battlefield, 80% of the people have never, ever worked on a Battlefield franchise before. So what you happen here with the writers and stuff like that, when you have brand new writers, I'm sorry, it's a dog-eat-dog world, man. And if you're a good writer, you're going to get more jobs. If you're a shitty writer, you'll never write again. But somehow, in some way, shape, or form, in the Hollywood industry and now in the video game industry, if you're a shitty writer, you're propped up and said, oh no, I'm not a shitty writer. You're just sexist and racist. And it's like, we just don't like your writing. The writing's bad, which makes the game bad because no one wants to listen to your story. And this is going a long way considering most gamers just smash the X button or A button and pass the story because they just want to play the game. Okay. But it says, he said that the juniors is on the team. Probably half the team that's building Assassin's Creed, building a game for the first time. I just want to take that. Krebsy, do me a favor because you're wonderful at this, and I appreciate you, Krebsy. Okay, can you get that clip of Captain America where he takes the chair and he puts it? We'll add that to the rotation. All right, anytime, put that in the feedback thing, would you? I appreciate you. Okay, so they don't know, he continued, even though they're playing the game right now and they think it's the worst thing they've ever seen is going to be good. We're going to get there. Okay. That's funny. Okay. Now I get that. BioWare Magic, the same way they did it in the back, right? They thought they didn't have a game. And then all of a sudden at the last 3 months, 6 months, all of a sudden everything came together. I get that. That's how it is, like building something. You start building it. There's pieces everywhere. There's lumber everywhere. And then all of a sudden, it just wraps up real fast and it's done. You're like, oh, it's beautiful, right? He says, let's elaborate. I've been there. I remember the first time on Assassin's Creed like it was July and the game was shipping in October. I was like, there's no way this thing will end up shipping. Oh, 91 Metacritic. Oh, okay, this is good. So I was wrong because it's not good until it is. Okay. Kote comments come from a wake of Ubisoft delaying the game from original release date of November 15th to February 14th. Now, just remind you that Assassin's Creed Shadow was supposed to be out 4 days ago. 4 days ago. The devs, they're like, this is not going to be done. This is going to be terrible. They were right because they wouldn't have made the 15th deadline of November. So did they delay it because of people were bitching about the stuff going on, or did they delay it because they knew that they were going to release a broken, buggy game and then fix it over the next 18 months? Okay. In September, Ubisoft announced in the press release that Assassin's Creed Shadows will now be released on February 14th, 2025, and I think it will move. That's just my speculation, okay? But that's what I think is going to happen. I don't think it's going to stay in February. I think it's going to move. Okay? If it is out in February, it's going to be broke. It's going to be broken, buggy, and then they'll fix it from 18 months from there. Okay? And then explained why. While the game is feature complete, the learnings from Star Wars Outlaws release led to us providing additional time to further polish this title. This will enable the biggest entry of the franchise to full deliver the ambitious, notable, fulfilling promise of a dual protagonist adventure with Noah and bringing them two very different gameplay styles. Ubisoft continued that we are departing from the traditional season pass model. Oh, well, that's nice. They were going to have a season pass, but now they're getting rid of it. All the players will be able to enjoy the game at the same time on February 14th. Amazing how that works. It's amazing how that works. How Outlaws came out and you had to wait for the fucking season pass paying up front. But now everybody gets it. You don't have to pay extra money for that. It's amazing how that works. Vote with your wallets, people. Okay? And they guarantee the first expansion for free. The game will also mark the return of our new release on Steam day one. Pote also would go on to provide more details on the post-Assassin's Creed account on X, and Assassin's Creed Shadows is a dream project for us, finally bringing in the series to feudal Japan with the many features developed on the community in mind, such as parkour and renewed stealth. God, I hope the stealth's better than Outlaws. Brought by a new technology, all set in a beautiful and immersive world. This is an ambitious addition to the franchise, a rich experience that also could be lived through the eyes of two unique protagonists. They also realize they also need more time to polish and refine the expert, pushing further than some of our key features. Again, with this part right here, but we realized we needed more time. It was just like a month ago they said we're delaying the game. It was just like a month ago they were delaying the game. They were going to release this game to you broke, buggy, and unfinished. And let me tell you something. They're going on vacation in just a little bit. Right? December comes and they're gone for like a month. Okay? The game's going to come out in February. It's not going to be complete. Not going to be complete. Just putting it out there. Okay? You do what you want with that info. As such, we've made a decision to postpone the release date to February 14th, 2025, and the game will release on a broad range of platforms, including Steam at launch. Additionally, pre-orders will be also refunded and all future pre-orders will be granted the first expansion for free. Okay, he continued. That's not free, by the way. I obviously refunded. You pre-ordered. They paid extra money, and they're like, let's refund that, and we'll give it to free. It's because they made a big fucking mistake, okay? And that's why they're doing that. You're not going to get a round of applause from me, okay? So Kote says, we understand the decision will come some disappointing news, especially for those who have also been waiting patiently for the Assassin's Creed game inspired by the feudal Japan, but we sincerely believe that this is the best interest of the game and ultimately your experience as a player, okay? Rest assured, we're looking forward to the moment you will be embarked on memorable adventures. Until then, we thank you for your ongoing support, okay? I'm not even going to read on. I get the gist, right? The game's coming out, and it's going to be broke, buggy, and unfinished. Look, I've said this with their other games in the past, like a Skull and Bones, like a Pandora, Avatar, Pandora, like the Star Wars. The business sense, the business model that they have is release a game and fix it over the next 18. They did it with Division 1. They did it with Division 2. They've done it with all their Assassin's Creed games in the past. They've done it with the Star Wars Outlaws, or they're doing it with Star Wars Outlaws now. They did it with lots of other games in the past, okay? There's nothing new here, Skull and Bones, okay? Beyond Good and Evil 2, forget about it. Even when it comes out, it'll be another 18 to 24 months before that game is fixed and finished when it comes out, okay? So with Ubisoft, the only thing you can do as a customer, right? Again, I'm not telling you not to buy the game ever. I'm just letting you know, do not get the game when it comes out, when it launches, because there's going to have issues, right? There's going to be issues, and just save your money, save your time. Go play another game that made a game and sold a game. Don't buy their game, because their game will be there. Their game will be there. Not only that, it'll go on sale dramatically fast because they put a product out that's not finished. But these are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments section down below. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe, and if you like what I do here, check out some of our other videos. Thanks for watching. All right, let me see. Waterbear says, the worst thing we've ever seen. It's not Concord? Yeah, they're like, hold my beer. We can beat them. We can beat them. Sarge says, ever seen or ever made? You fucking made it. Jesus Christ, what the fuck are you talking about? Yeah, it's crazy. This is the worst thing we've ever seen, followed by, have you seen Ghost of Tsushima did? Robert Jones says a bunch of juniors is intended. They are way cheaper. Yeah, but they're still blowing up the budgets. So how's that, Jones? What are they doing with that money? If the money's going out super high and yet they have juniors, how much time are they wasting? What's going on, Roadkill? Rowick says, sounds like they still haven't made a game yet. No, they haven't. They haven't. And the next story we have is talking about Outlaws. Okay. They all use all juniors because the senior devs cost too much, trying to cut and save up front with the cost, and you also get in the long run. Sarge says, you wanted to cut corners and cheap out all the new labor, hoping that it would also just make a shit ton of money on the popular IP using under-skilled workers, and you made a wrong choice. You were greedy. Yep. Roadkill says, Ubisoft killed themselves no matter what they do with the Assassin's Creed Shadows. It's not going to release to what they should have released to. Oh, no. It's definitely not going to be underperformed. Brinkley says, I hope AC moves, since that might help Avowed, which already has a tough launch month. I think it's going to move. I think Assassin's Creed Shadows will move out of March. Out of February. Maybe March or April. Sarge says, it's not coming out on February 14th. No shot. What's going on, Argus? look, I asked the question the other day, right? And I understand that the majority. I was on a podcast. Kingsley, Gator, and Todd. I asked them a question, right? I asked them a question. Why do you buy? I didn't ask them like specifically, but I was like, why do people buy? Why do they buy a game broke, buggy, and unfinished? And all three of them, okay, without a beat, said it's because they want what they want, and no one's going to tell them different, and that it's their money, and they want it, right? So they're going to buy it because they're having fun. And I totally get that, right? I totally get that. But my side of the argument is I'm rooting for a game to be complete. Okay? You should also have a game that you want complete, okay? Now, you could do what you want with your money. You could pre-order a game. You could do all the stuff you want. But when a game comes out broke, buggy, and unfinished, there's no reason to fix it if they're going to make sales, okay? Remember, Cyberpunk took 3 years to fix their game because they made all their money and more back on that game. They made a profit before the game even came out. They sold 8 million copies pre-order. So the game comes out, they're like, we'll take our sweet time. And they sure did. They took a slow process of fixing that game, right? Where that game, when it was done in 3 years, came out, and that's what it should have been like on day one. Now, you paid for that game then, full price, for a broken, buggy game. And all I'm asking is that you don't buy it day one. You don't pre-order it. You don't buy it day one, because if you vote with your wallets, okay, they will change things dramatically fast because they know, they're like, oh shit, they caught us, okay? So I get that people like the games they like. They want to buy the games they want to buy because they're having fun, but you can have fun by holding off, playing a game that's already complete, and then when this game comes out, you then pay them the money, and then you have a full-fledged game instead of waiting for this game to be finished 18 months to 24 months later. Okay? So like Jones said, stop pre-ordering. Okay? Stop pre-ordering. Argus says, how do you make the worst game ever seen, the dev company, when you are the ones designing it? That's the wildest shit. And that's a quote. That's not from a YouTuber that's saying that shit. That's coming from the executive producer saying that's what his devs are saying. And I get it's in context of they can't see the forest through the trees. They're like, this is the worst thing ever because they have no experience because they're all juniors, right? Danny Owen, thank you very much for the sub. Appreciate that. Is it Dana? I butchered it. Welcome to the club. I butcher everyone's name. It's like a rite of passage. I apologize, but thank you very much for the subscription. Robert Jones says, I feel like most companies want the older, more expensive guys gone, replace them in cheaper guys to do twice the work. Oh, for sure. And this is not something new in the video game industry, Jones, right? This is everywhere. They obviously delayed the furthest date that's still in 2024 fiscal year. No, the furthest date would be, isn't it March 31st? Or is it the end of February, Cubsy? I thought it was March when it ends and goes into April is the new year for the fiscal year. Or is it the end of February into March? Owen Gamer says, I think it's good just to wait for reviews and actual gameplay. Yeah, that's it. That's all I'm asking for. Like, don't pre-order and wait to see what people have to say, right? And obviously, watch people that you respect, right? I know you're brand new, right? I always watch someone that I like. I watch someone that I don't know or don't like. And then if this person says the same stuff as this person in their pros and cons, then you know that's what's happening in the game, right? Sarge says, if you want to defend your bad consumer practices because of your problem with instant gratification, that sounds like a you problem. Use the mentality in a different issue, see how that works out, which I brought up in the podcast, Sarge. I said, would you take that in any other, like, food, car. Yeah, you bought the car, but it's got no doors, right? Come back in 18 months, we'll put the doors on it. Would you give them full price money? No, you wouldn't. You want the product that you paid for day one. Right? So this goes on to the next story that we have, which is, again, it's just, I feel like today is Shit on Ubisoft Day. Welcome to National Shit on Ubisoft Day. Just how the articles go, right? So you guys know that I enjoyed Star Wars Outlaws. I enjoyed it. You guys watched me play it. The whole playthrough is on my stream. You can go watch it, okay? But I said from the very start, massive issues, things that need to change, okay? And we talk about this every time I do an update. Well, here's the next thing, okay? You guys like what I do here? I do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning to noon Eastern. We cover stories, news articles, videos, give you my thoughts and opinions on these things. First time on stream, I read it, right? Like a fourth grader child reading it to you, okay? Because that's my reading level. That if you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5, okay? So 3 months after launch, Star Wars Outlaws' next big update is starting to sound like a whole new open world game. That's because it is. That's because it's not finished yet, but man, they're getting there. They're getting there. Maybe by summertime next year, we can all look back at Star Wars Outlaws and go, hey, it's a pretty good game, okay? But I told you, it's not worth the full price unless you are a die-hard Star Wars fan. I even said that once this game is done, I probably pick it up and put it on my shelf as a part of my Star Wars collection because I like it. I thought it was a good game, but it had so many issues. So let's see what they're fixing about it now, okay? It says, I'm starting at the Star Wars Outlaws update in disbelief, okay? Ubisoft, okay, let's make this nice and big for people. Ubisoft has revealed a little more about what's coming in the next Star Wars Outlaws update, including combat changes so fundamental that it sounds like we're basically getting a whole new open world game. It's not that we're basically getting it. You are getting a brand new game because the game is starting to become finished. Okay? I was already starting to feel bad for enjoying Outlaws as much as I did at launch. And now it looks like Ubisoft is attempting to speedrun its own No Man's Sky style redemption tour. Okay? You can read a full blog from creative director Drew Richard if you want to every detail, but here are some of the highlights for what's coming in Update 1.4 on November 21st. Okay? Headshots are now more rewarding. Oh, you mean the actual thing is hitting the actual head and it actually feels like it's hitting them? Cool. Health and armor stats revamped to make various enemy types more distinct. Oh, you mean the actual NPCs actually are acting like something. Okay. Enemies have new weak points. Oh, what, did you forget to put that in the game? Okay. Enemies have now new defeat animations and hit reactions. Okay. Instead of copy pasta, they've actually added the rest of the animations into the game. Okay. Every weapon has a recoil, fire rate, ammo, and accuracy stat tweak. So now everything feels different, right? Think about this, chat. Think about what I'm reading here. In the game that came out 2 months ago, okay, that people paid $70, $100, $130, okay, to wait for, that people defend it. I know some of you are in the chat. Defend it when I said that this game is another 8 months to 12 months away from being finished, okay? You guys are like, nah, fantastic, phenomenal. And meanwhile, I'm going, yeah, it's good, but it still needs time. Don't pre-order. Wait for the game to be finished. Wait for the game to come out. Okay? Every weapon, okay, has recoil. Some weapons, okay, like the blaster rifle, have had their shooting patterns completely redesigned. Okay? Remember, this is not a live service game. This is a single-player game with DLC coming down the road that you don't have to pay for because you paid $130 up front. You have to pay for the season pass afterwards. Okay? This is all there. Or you pay $18 a month. Okay? Or you pay $18 a month. Okay? The power module now lets you shoot through cover. Okay? Okay? The ion module now stuns enemies longer. Okay? You can no longer drop scavenged weapons while climbing. Remember me bitching about that? I'm like, why are you dropping the goddamn weapon? I should be able to take the weapon with me, okay, and use it as I go. No, if you climb a wall, climb a ladder, do anything, you have to drop the... Can't take this. You got to put it down on the ground. Like, why? It made no sense. Okay? And you can now choose which shoulder your camera favors. Okay? Hey, I said the exact same thing. I said, man, I don't understand why they did it in Division, but they didn't do it in this game. Right? It says, all in all, we believe and hope that this update to weapons, cover, and damage stats will create much deeper and more engaging combat loop with more variety, choice, and satisfaction. Okay? Those are just much loftier promises than you also would typically expect from a post-launch update. These are kind of changes that typically wait for a full sequel. No. Fuck you, article. It's not for when you wait for a full sequel. These are things that should have been in the game day one. Okay? If Ubisoft can deliver on half the ambitious with this update, it starts to look like Outlaws is moving past the flaws that held it back at launch. You could argue that this game we should have gotten at launch. No. There's no argument. There's no argument. If you're defending this, you are the problem. Let me repeat that, okay? If you defend a game like this, and there's tons of them out in the industry, if you defend a game and you say you're having fun, but yet they keep coming out with updates to make the game better, you are the problem. This is the way the game should have came out at launch. This is the way the game will be finished by this time next year. So this time next year, October, November, when someone picks up Outlaws for the very first time, they're going to pick it up and go, this game is amazing. Okay? Where you, the person that paid $70, $80, $100, $130, had a half-ass attempt of a game, and then 12 months later, someone that paid $20 got a better product than you. That is the problem. And if you like that, then continue supporting the companies that do this to you. But me, no, sir. Wait for the game to be finished before you give them money. Vote with your wallet. Okay? It's not about just having fun. It's about getting your value of an actual game that's finished. Not just, it's out, it's new, it's got Star Wars in it, let me play the game. Again, I enjoyed the game. But I said, 8 to 12 months, this game will be complete. And here we are just 2 months later. They're putting stuff in there. Okay, they're putting my voice just cracked like I'm a high school girl. Okay, they're putting things in the game that should have been there from the beginning. But these are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments section down below. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe, and if you like what I do here, check out some of our other videos. Thanks for watching. Sarge says weak points. Wow. What a revelation. So is the game now complete, or is it still wait for next year? Oh, no. Altern. This is wait till next year. This is just proof that nobody should have bought this game when it came out 2 months ago. Because this game shouldn't have came out this past year. Altern says, but 30, the game is perfect. I'm having fun. What are you talking about? You're just a grifter, anti-woke. K-Vest doesn't look hot. Right, Altern. Right? Jack says, 30, how on earth were you able to power through the broken mess of Outlaws? I didn't have a lot of glitches and bugs, Jack. It wasn't that the game was glitchy for me, because it wasn't. You can watch my whole playthrough. I had like maybe two glitches, right? Didn't I fall through the map one time? Or am I imagining that? And then I had an audio glitch that happened, right? Other than that, I had no problems with that. The problems I had was the stealth felt like they just kind of put it in there. The gunplay was terrible as far as shooting and stuff like that, right? I play a little different than what other people do, right? So I didn't, and the speeder bikes were broke, like glitchy. I didn't do speeder bikes a lot. I kind of left it alone. I would jump off my bike and then fight people and whatnot. But for the most part, the game itself wasn't done. Like, it was a game. It was put out there. I would say it's in beta form right now. Honestly, it's like a beta form of what the game is. And that's why I said, you should wait. Is it done? No, it's not done. So what's happening now is that, look, if you want to play the game, go pay $18 for a month and go play it. But they're having a DLC that comes out soon. Okay? It's their first season, part of the season pass or whatever. And then there's another one coming out in the spring. Okay? They will be fixing this game up until and past the next expansion that comes out in May or April or May. Okay? Once that is done, they are done with the game. Okay? Meaning there's no more content coming out. So that is the only time. You should wait about a month after that. So let's say the next thing comes out in April or May. I would wait till June or July and then pay the $18 for Ubisoft Plus for the 1 month. Play the game, enjoy the game, or wait for it to go on sale. Because you shouldn't reward a company for giving you a half-assed game and then 1 year later fixing it. I liked it, though. If you are a Star Wars fan, you'll look past all the things because you're like, oh my God, I can't believe it's an open world Star Wars game. I'm having so much fun. Okay? They've made a lot of changes. They've made 3 major changes so far in the 3 updates they've had. But it's still far from being done. Sarge says, I don't care, bro. If I want to pay someone $130 for a broken product, that's my decision. You can make it fun of me because I'm mentally challenged. Robert Jones says, I'm always surprised, shouldn't be, when a single-player game has patch notes like a live service game. Think about it, Jones. If the game was done, why do they keep updating it with massive changes? So far, they've overhauled the stealth. They've overhauled the actual firing mechanics. They've overhauled the reactions of the NPCs. They've updated the NPCs. They fixed the face of the character from the cutscenes and whatnot. They've changed the speeder bikes, if I'm not mistaken, to work better. Right? They've done like major overhauls the last 3 patches. Why wasn't that done before the game came out? Now, obviously, Disney probably rushed them out the door. That's not my problem, right? That's not my problem. That's their problem. That's just speculation. We don't know that. Apparently, Ubisoft probably did it themselves because we just read 2 articles and they said, we don't know how to get customers. We don't know where they are. We don't know what we're doing wrong.
Stop it. Get some help.
Like, I don't understand. Like, how do they not know? Robert Jones says, understanding fixing bugs, but this is an overhaul. Yeah, the 3 major updates they've done so far have completely altered the entire game. Pepsi says, minimal viable product remaining content and shift resources Division 3, which they already did, right? The director left this game, moved over, so they hired, they promoted someone within to be the new director of it, and they're making major fixes. This shouldn't have released. This shows you it shouldn't have released. And why are they fixing it? Why are they fixing it, chat? Right? Why are they fixing it? Are they fixing it because they want to fix it? Or are they fixing it because it sold 1 million copies? I think we all know the answer. Eclipse says, I mean, it's crazy how all of that stuff was so bad at Outlaws, and it's made by the same people that made Division. You think the shooting would have at least been good? We said this, Eclipse. I was like, I don't understand. How is a stealth game cover-based shooter, right? From the people that made Division 2, I don't understand. I'm so confused. I wonder if there's juniors that are working on Assassin's Creed, also juniors working on Outlaws. And they just don't know what they're doing. Altern says, don't forget, they wanted you to pay 140 edition or keep you on Ubisoft Plus. Yep. Sarge says it's fine. Ship it. There are kids, they don't give a shit. And see, when people come into my stream and they hear me bitching about stuff like this, I'm only trying to not even protect anybody. I'm trying to educate people going, look, I want the same thing you do. I want a game that's done, complete, so I can have fun. Right? I don't want to play a game for $70, $10 more than we used to, okay? And also getting half of a game. Used to pay $60, used to get complete games. Now we pay $70 and we get half a game and we have to wait 18 months to get it. Okay? That is the problem. That is the problem. And they know it's broke. They know it's buggy. They know that it needs to be fixed. Hence why they try to push you towards the Ubisoft Plus. Because if it is broke, buggy, and whatever, you're just paid $18. You didn't pay the full price of $130. And think about that. If you bought the game to get the season pass and whatnot, you have to pay $130 up front. If I want to play the DLC content, it comes out today. Let's say I never played it before. I pay $18 for this month, and I get the content for that. Right? So, because they have 2 expansions plus the game, and they wanted to pay $18, the game's price could have been $54, right? Because they wanted you to come back at least 3 times. If you're paying Ubisoft Plus, they don't want you to leave, but if you did come back just to play the game, you would pay for 1 month here, 1 month here for when the first expansion comes out, and then 1 more month when the last expansion comes out, which is 18, 18, 18. Okay? $54, that's how much the game is. But yet they're selling to you for $70, $110, $130, okay? And you have to wait 18 months for the game to be finished. 12 to 18 months. Because it wasn't the main division team? I don't care what team it was, Mo. I don't care how the sausage is made. I just want the sausage to be good. I don't care what the chef is doing behind the kitchen. I just want my meal to be good. I don't care what the devs are behind the scenes. I just want a complete game. I don't care if they're senior staff, if they're junior staff. I just want what I paid for. I'm not trying to feel entitled to anything. I just want a game to be complete when I purchase it. Hilly says, in 2 to 3 years, I'll buy the whole finished game for pennies. Yeah. And I'll tell you what, Hilly, it will be 100%. I think the game is worth $50 if you're a huge Star Wars fan. If you're not a Star Wars fan, I wouldn't touch it until it comes out later. But later down the road, once they fix all the stuff, okay, and it comes out, okay, and you're paying $20, $30, it's a steal. It'll be a phenomenal game once it's complete. But the problem is they didn't complete it. Go on, Salty. I'm not touching it, Dolphin. I've already said I'm not paying another $1 towards them until all the season passes are out. So sometime next summer, we'll try it out again. Maybe. Kylo says, you're asking for too much nowadays, Mike. Just asking for the same thing I asked for before. Make a game, sell a game. That's it. That's all I've ever asked for. Make a game, sell a game. Unrealistic expectations. I know. It's crazy. I just want a game to be finished. Could you imagine? I mean, we have technical difficulties here all the time, right? But what about if my thing just kept switching between like this, back and forth, the entire time, right? The entire time I'm talking, the stream is just doing this, right? Don't worry, guys. You're going to have the best experience in the world as my thing is malfunctioning like this, back and forth, okay? You're going to have the best experience of your life, right? Just make sure you pay up front, right? Everybody says, we have you frozen peas here and the fresh ones. Sorry for the beef stew. Here's the ribeye. We gave you crack windows. Here's your automatic windows, right? Robert Jones says, good thing we aren't paying you. Oh, wait. Yeah. But that's just it, Dustin, right? Right now, especially you, right? You have so many games. You don't ever have to buy a new game, right? You never have to buy a new game. There are so many games out, and they're new games that don't charge full price that you can enjoy, okay? There's so many games that can take that 10 hours on some other game that you're not giving to their game that wanted to charge you full price for an incomplete game. Salty says, did you not learn from Baldur's Gate 3, Mike? You can't expect this level of excellence every time. What, a game being complete? It's crazy. You wouldn't think about that in any other industry, right? You've like buying unfinished book with missing pages. Wait until next year to the full book, right? Hey, but no, people want to buy it now because they need it now. I need to read those 10 pages. Wait, there's another page? To get the next 10 pages, you got to pay $20, even though the book itself is $20. You're like, wait a minute. I'm confused. YouTube Premium has a solution. Don't like Mike's scene changing? Get background play. Yeah, just listen to me. Can we talk about how every time you turn on a PlayStation, Xbox, or Steam, the store is always right there? With ads. With ads, mind you. They're always advertising something, Jones. Oh, Ghost Fixer, I'm glad you brought it up. I actually wanted to bring this up on the show, but I kind of went down the rabbit hole, okay? Which is just the stories itself, not the actual rabbit hole. I am so excited. I said in the beginning of the stream, I typed it in. I said, I'm so excited for today. You know why I'm so excited today? I'm not excited to play Microsoft Flight Sim because I won't be able to play it tonight because we have an interview tonight, okay? But I'm so excited for Flight Sim to come out today because my 10-year-old son can stop talking about it in a, oh, how much more time do I have before the game comes out? 3 months, right? 3 months every single day, okay? And I'm happy about it. I love that my son is so passionate about something, okay? But every single day, 10 times a day, I'm exaggerating because it's way more than 10 times a day, didn't shut up about it. How much time left before Microsoft Flight Sim comes out? I can't wait for it to come out. I know everything about this goddamn game, okay? I loved my son has a passion, okay? And I hope, okay, that when the game comes out, it's everything that he thought it was going to be, right? I made sure my wife was like, she said something, and I gave her a look real fast because she was going to say, I hope you're not disappointed, right? And I said to her, don't say that because he's got this innocence to him still where he is passionate about a game, and I don't want him to be skewed, okay? I want him to enjoy games for what games are, okay? And I know he hears me talking about stuff sometimes, but he's so excited about this game, okay? So excited about this game. I am jealous that I don't have that passion anymore about a game, right? I remember when I was a kid and we would get that Nintendo Power and I would look through the magazine and see a new game and I was like, oh, so excited for this game, okay? That I can't wait for that to come out, okay? That's how he is with this game, okay? I hope it's everything that he wants, okay? Because if he comes out and says, oh, it's bad, or if it comes out broke or buggy or something's wrong with it, you're going to see that where he's super excited, and then next time a game comes out, he's be like, I hope it's not as broke as the last game I got, right? And that is my issue. That is my issue with the industry itself, right? I've been burned so many times with a game that I'm so excited for that when the game comes out, it's not complete. It crashes. I paid full price for Marvel's Avengers, and I had to wait 14 days for the game to be complete because it was a massive glitch. I couldn't open the last door to fight the last boss, right? Battlefield 2042, I didn't pay for it, right? But during the beta, it was all glitchy and whatnot, and I was just like, I ain't touching that, right? Like, I would hate to be a person that pays that much money and get burned over and over and over and never learn your lesson. So I hope that Flight Simulator comes out, and man, it's just awesome. I hope it's the best thing he's ever played and just loves it. Because now it goes from, I can't wait to play it to, Dad, this game is the greatest game ever. Let me show you this, right? And I hope he still has that enjoyment with it. Yeah, I can't surprise him for Christmas. It's on Game Pass. If I take it away from him now, Dustin, I think he would kick me in the nuts. Even if I joked about it the other day, I said, buddy, I go, I'm sorry, but they said they delayed Flight Sim by a week. He's like, stop it. That's not true. He's like, I don't like when you joke like that. I'm updating the Microsoft Flight Simulator. I'll probably play it this afternoon when I get off stream. I'll probably play it for like 30 minutes or so. Dolphin, he literally told me last night, he said, Dad, I already finished the game. I already finished the Fortnite season pass. And I go, you already finished it? Like, when did it come out? When did the new season pass come out? Like last week, didn't it? Right? It's like maybe a week, 2 weeks. Right? How long has it been out? Not very long. He finished it already. I was like, you finished it already? He's like, yeah, you know why? I'm not going to play it because Microsoft Flight Sim. So he finished it before the game came out, so he didn't have to worry about it. I have a flight stick. Oh, which reminds me. Akuta Papa gave me a flight stick last year. He gave me his old flight stick. He gifted it to my son because he knew he liked the game so much. But now it's not working. It's not working. Yeah, he gave him a flight stick. He gave him his old flight stick. He loved it. But for some reason, it's not operating correctly now. So I don't know if there's like if there's an update or something I have to do for the flight stick. Billy said, Battlefield cost me $5 and I still feel I overpaid. They paid you. And no, I know. Last night, I was hoping to blast after 3 games crashed to the desktop. The only other game I had to do this was Diablo 4. I hate AAA at the moment. Wait a minute. The game crashed after 3 games. Billy, I would rage quit. I'd be like, you. I got a code, and I think I told this a couple weeks ago. I got a code for Starship Troopers. I bought it on PC. They gave me a code, and Sarge a code. We were supposed to play it on Xbox, on stream. Okay? It was broke so bad and unplayable that they sent me an email saying, hey, where's your footage of the game? And I said, go ahead and take the codes, but which they didn't. They said you can keep them. But I said, as soon as the company fixes the game, where when I play the game, it doesn't crash every 5 seconds. So when I'm on stream, I'm not going through showing how the game crashes. I was like, I would love to play your game. But until then, I'm not touching it. I was like, if you want the codes back, take the codes back or negate from a thing. And they're like, oh, thanks for letting us know. I was like, I'm not touching it. I'm not touching it. Fucking broke, buggy, and unfinished. Ghostfisher says, what sucks is I won't be able to play Stalker 2 as much tomorrow when it comes out, since I'll be at work. Luckily, ignoring the internet will be easy. Fortnite Season 1 only for 1 month, so XP for the Battle Pass is leveled up super fast. He finished it in like 4 days, 5 days. Over the weekend he played. I did not, Jones. I haven't even gone back to play it. I'm stuck on the game I played last night, Brighter Shores. I'm addicted to that game. And I just opened up the 3rd episode. I paid the $6 for the I already put 40 hours in the game. So I paid $6 for the next episode for the month or whatever. So now I'm like playing inside the mine shaft that we played last night. Is it bad that I tell my son I got him a new game that just comes out on Game Pass? No, that's not bad. Newest Fortnite season launched on November 2nd. Well, there you go. And he completed it in 10 days. 10 days? 9 days. Because he plays, so within 9 days, and he doesn't play every day, he did it in 4 days of the time he played and completed it. I stopped playing and watched an episode of Reacher. Games now make me want to play anything. Elliot, may I ask how old you are? Are you our age? Are you in your 40s? Are you higher? Are you lower? You are. I think it's just our age. I really do. There's something about it. I'm in this moment right now where I want to play games, but I'm not really in the mood to play games. And like Brighter Shores, for some reason, has just captured my moment. Like even when my son asked me to play, I'm like, I'm not in the mood to play that. I'm not in the mood to play that. And I don't know if it's because of the game or if it's because of the headspace I'm in the age bracket that I'm in. Which game was this that I'm playing right now, Jones? The Brighter Shores game that I was playing last night on stream. I played it last week and I played it again last night. Apparently, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 has a live stream. We won't be able to watch it. I don't even know if we're going to get to this story. I got to get to this last story. Waterbear says, I have that passion with Path of Exile too. Where shall I pick my first flight today? I'm excited for career mode. So, are you just gonna fly? Just like free fly, Ghost Fixer? Maybe you should like fly through the Grand Canyon or something. Finger coming in here with the with the troll. Shatter of Elden Tree deserves Game of the Year. Tinker, I think I know you well enough to know that you're just... There's no way you believe that. You're just saying that because it's DLC and you know that's what it is. Sure, Tinker. Tinker, are you available to do the Video Game Award show on the 12th, the Thursday the 12th? I know you said you were available, but then I know you got off and came back, and I didn't know if you were available, so... You know me so well. See, I've only known you for about 8 months, 9 months, but I get you. Haley says 97% of the time it's the game. I was annoyed with Battlefield 2042. It's a good game at the heart, but they have destroyed its soul. Preach. That's exactly right. It's a shell of itself. Artemis, we're about to actually get to that topic. We're about to get to that topic. So I saw this headline, and I was like, oh, let me read this, right? If you guys like what I do, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning until noon Eastern. I just read stories, have conversations, give you my thoughts and opinions on the story. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5, and I do appreciate you for your time. All right, so exclusive. Sony is in talks to buy the media powerhouse behind Elden Ring. Dun, dun, dun. So, in talks, acquire Kadokawa. Is that how you say it? Probably not. Butchered it. The Japanese media powerhouse behind Elden Ring game. Two sources familiar with the matter said that the technology giant looks to add to this entertainment portfolio. The talks between the two sides are ongoing, and if successful, a deal could be signed in the coming weeks. The sources said that the Kadokawa's shares closed at 23% of its daily limit, and the market capitalization was around $2.7 billion prior to Reuters report. Sony shared closed up to 0.6%. Sony declined to comment, said it cannot comment. Okay, and then Sony already had 2% stake in the company, and then FromSoft, they're controlled by FromSoft, and also the developer hit a fantasy action role-playing game. Now, the critically acclaimed title is a collaboration between a veteran game director, okay, of Game of Thrones author of George R.R. Martin. Now, the game, which also depicts the atmospheric world where players battle monsters in quest to repair Elden Ring, has sold over 25 million units and has been widely praised. The title is available on platforms including Sony PlayStation. An expansion of Shadow of Elden Tree sold 5 million units in the first 3 days after release in June. The studio also began, or the publisher also began to publish it in 1945, but it expanded into games anime events and also figures, and with franchises such as ReZero, in which the teenage boy is summoned to a fantasy world. Other franchises include Delicious in Dungeon. Delicious in Dungeon manages a series adapted into anime about adventures exploring dungeons and eating monsters they encounter. Known as an investor in Walkman, Sony also would transform the electronics manufacturer into entertainment and technology juggernaut spanning movies, music, games, and chips, right? Lovable characters and intellectual properties, IPs, can live for 30, 50, or 100 years. Sony said last year that's something we want to make investments in as sustainable growth, okay? So Sony's focusing includes animes whose growth worldwide have been fueled by spread of streaming services or greater familiarity with Japanese culture, okay? So the group has also success in extending its reach to own franchises with the Last of Us game series adapted into a popular HBO drama. Sony, which also marketed a valuation of about $114 billion in January, scrapped the $10 billion merge of Indian Arm and Z Entertainment Enterprises, saying some conditions were not met. So Doe's business has also been buffed in recent years. So in June, it was also hit by a cyber attack and was also resulted in a data leak affected by business activities. 2 years ago, the Sun Company's founder resigned as the chairman after it was also indicted on verbally charges related to Tokyo Olympics. Okay, so what does it mean for... Let me tell you what's going to happen here. If Sony picks up the company and Elden Ring, okay, if the next Elden Ring comes out, whatever it is, if they have something, and it's as widespread as what Elden Ring was. The Elden Ring was very popular because it was broader across all the industries, and we brought it up a couple of days ago, or last week. Someone brought up about how, I think it was Box, brought up how PvP slash, extraction games are a niche, but it's also very popular, and it could explode. And I said, no, it can't because it's a niche market. Then he brought up Dark Souls, and Dark Souls was a niche market. Okay, but Elden Ring took that niche market and expanded, hence why it sold 25 million units, okay? But it did that across all platforms, okay? Not just on PlayStation. So, if Sony picks up this company and they're making, let's say, Elden Ring 2 down the line, okay? This will be a first-party title, okay? Sort of like what Microsoft picked up Bethesda, and now Starfield is a first-party title, okay? But they, I don't think, would make it exclusively just for PlayStation. And here's why. Because if it was just for PlayStation, you would make Elden Ring that sold 25 million units, you would make that a niched market because it's only selling on Xbox at that point, okay? But if they go sell it everywhere, well then their first-party title now becomes a third-party publisher, which Sony fans say that's never going to happen. So if Sony picks up this company and they do make a next Elden Ring or something along the lines of Elden Ring, then they would 100% be a third-party publisher, and they would sell it across multiple platforms because they want to make the most money possible with this franchise. Because you wouldn't want to take Elden Ring and then all of a sudden shrink it down to one console. And even if you go multiplayer for just for PC and PlayStation, then that would also go against everything they said that they would never go day and date. I think if they pick this up, it'd be a huge move for Sony to pick them up, okay? But they would 100% go day and date on PC, and it would be a first-party title, and it would be a single-player game. But these are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments section down below. If you like what I do here, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and check out some of our other videos. Thanks for watching. Oh, I know, Mo. I know. What I'm saying is we know they're a third-party publisher. I'm talking about first-party day and date. If they pick up Elden Ring, and Elden Ring, okay, comes out with Elden Ring 2 or whatever down the line, they would 100% put that day and date on PlayStation and another console, and it wouldn't be a live service game. It would be a single-player, first-party title that would be a third-party publisher day and date on PlayStation and other platforms. If that's just PC and PlayStation, if that's PlayStation, Xbox, and PC, whatever. Horizon didn't come out. Horizon wasn't day and date when it came out, Mo. You're talking about Horizon Legos right now. And Sony didn't make it. Sony licensed out their thing for a company to make it, and then they put it on PlayStation. You're absolutely correct, okay? But the Lego is not their studio. Okay? You're right about third party, and I'm not arguing with that. I'm talking about first party studio. The studio that made Lego game is not first party. No, Guerrilla Games did not make the Lego game. Guerrilla Games licensed out the IP of Horizon to another company, and they made a Lego game. Sony shouldn't be allowed to buy them. If it's beyond the gaming license, a lot of anime Sony has a monopoly on the anime market. Well, I think their rules, and again, Thomas, I'm not too sure, is different over there than it is over here, right? All the stuff that they're buying is over in their country. I'm not sure how that works. Our laws over here don't apply to their laws over there. You're absolutely right that it could be a monopoly, but I'm not sure how monopolies are run over there, like how they look at monopolies over there. Guerrilla aided with the development, but they didn't make this. They didn't make it. They aided with it. There's the studio that made it. I'm pretty sure. I'll check. Lego Horizon, developer, Studio Gobo, Guerrilla Games, and Studio Gobo Limited, right? Guerrilla Games helped them with it, but they didn't make the game. Studio Gobo and Studio Gobo Limited are the ones that made the game, but Guerrilla Games helped them because of the franchise and the IP. Oh, I know Sony owns them already. What I'm saying is, I don't know the rules over there. They might be able to own them all. Sin, I don't know that answer. I don't know. I don't know if they have to. I don't think they have to worry about the FTC and stuff like that. I'm not sure. There might be different parties across the regions and whatnot. I'm not too sure. Again, they're not located here in the States, and I'm not sure how that works. I wouldn't know the first thing, so I can't really answer that question. They probably don't have monopoly rules. The country is only so big. Yeah, I don't know, Jones. Here's what it says here, Mo. On the it says Guerrilla named UK-based studio Gobo has a co-development partner in January 2023 to expand the Horizon universe. It was previously rumored that the studio was working on a remake of Horizon Zero Dawn, which also turned onto the false because of 2024 remaster actually developed by Nexus Software and Guerrilla. The game design technology, according to Guerrilla, the studio initially designed the machines from the first game using Lego Duplo and wanted to make the game more light-hearted game. Is also working on the Horizon game. The Lego group that pitched the game to Guerrilla, as we're also all fans of Horizon, according to Kate Bryant, a project lead of Lego brand games. The Lego group felt that Horizon was a good choice for the video game and project due to the vibrant visuals. They also drawn into Aloy as a character, and as she also speaks in a wide audience because of the strength and character that can also resonate with the younger audience. Lego Horizon Adventures was developed by Unreal Engine 5, also used visual enhancements of ray trace lighting of PlayStation 5 and Windows version. On PlayStation 5, Lego Horizon features fidelity performance graphics, nodes 30 and 60 frames. The game does not include PlayStation 5 Pro Enhance. I didn't know that. That's kind of weird. According to the narrative director, Guerrilla wanted to create a playable Lego movie in terms of visual quality. The game has also used fixed camera. The Lego game is also Lego Star Wars Saga. Environments of the game also made entirely Lego bricks. Lego Horizon Adventure announced on Nintendo PlayStation. So is Gobo developers? So is Gobo Gorilla? It's just their other studio. Because it says here, Gorilla named UK-based studio Gobo, right? Named. I don't think Gobo is Gorilla, right? That's the way I'm reading it, right? Gorilla named UK-based studio, like Gorilla Games named UK-based studio Gobo as the developer, as a co-developer, right? So Gobo is not Gorilla Games. It's not an offshoot of Gorilla Games. They just worked in with Gorilla Games. So it's the Lego group. Somebody says, even if Mo's angle, Lego are the ones who approached Sony to make the game. Right. Right. It would be a second party. It would be a double A game, right? Or right? Second party? As we said before. Somebody says, Studio Gobo are the ones who make almost every Lego game. Right. Which is not Gorilla. And of course they would work with Gorilla because it's their IP. So they would have to work with them to be like, hey, it's like someone working with LucasArts when they make a Star Wars game. They would go to LucasArts. LucasArts is not making the game, but they would be consultants and stuff to be like, hey, this is what we're doing, and they would help along with it, but they're not the developers of it. Since, as I thought that entity that does any business globally has to get mergers and such approved by the governing bodies in the region where they do business, not just the native region. Again, Sin, I don't know. You might be correct. Eclipse says, I hope FromSoft just becomes their own company. I think they can do it if they don't need to have a publisher. Well, if Sony picks them up, Eclipse, obviously then they would be a Sony studio going forward. They wouldn't be their own studio if Sony picks them up. What does that have to do with them being a third party because it's experimental? Third party is third party no matter how. What he's saying, though, Mo, is that there's a difference between a first-party studio. There's a difference between Guerrilla Games giving the IP to somebody else and then making it still a Sony game because Sony's on the box and they gave permission to use the IP. Yes, it's third-party, but that's not a first-party title. Do you understand what I'm saying? First-party title would be their studio working on that game to make that a first-party studio, and then it's going, right? That would be it. Like a God of War, like a thing. So what I'm saying is, if Sony buys FromSoft and FromSoft makes the next Elden Ring game, then that would be a first-party game, just like Bethesda's first-party now, just like Activision's first-party now with Microsoft. They would have to take Elden Ring 2 and put it multi-plat day and date, which would be their first actual first-party game, okay? Right? That's not live service, single player, because MLB The Show is a live service game, okay? And they said with the goalpost moving that all their live service games are going to be day and date, but their single player games would not be day and date. Hence why I'm saying that would be their first single player day and date on other platforms. They would keep it on Sony? Well, that would be a stupid move. Especially since Elden Ring was the most successful game by 4 times of any other game that they've ever created. It sold 25 million units because it was on all platforms. If Sony bought them and only put it on Sony, they would be idiotic. They'd be idiots. They would go from selling 25 million copies of Elden Ring 2 would sell 5. They don't have enough people that are interested in that game on that one platform. Even if it sold 7 or 10, they still just destroyed their thing, which would go in the same conversation as, well, Microsoft killed Call of Duty because they're not getting all the sales now because of whatever. Well, if they did the same thing with Elden Ring 2 and only put it on PlayStation, then they would kill the sales of their franchise. I still think that's a stupid move, Krebsy. Personally, I think it's a stupid move. If they take a game that's one of the most popular games, especially from that studio, okay, which is 4 times more popular than any other game they've ever sold, where it sold 25 million units, and only put it on a time limit on Sony, be dumb. I can see them doing that, Titan. Maybe exclusive certain class in the next Elden Ring. Service. Go day and date. It's not a live service game. Sure. Look, I think it would be a smart move if they pick it up. I'm just saying it would be a dumb move if they pick them up and then not go multi-plat with it on day one. Oh, they got me? I didn't see a blip. I never got the blip on my side, Krebsy. Too much wild prediction and ifs? Well, it's pretty plausible. I mean, if Sony picks them up, right? It would be dumb to take a franchise that's super successful across all platforms on PC, Xbox, and PlayStation, and then limit it to just one box. That's not a far-fetched thing, right? Obviously, the topic is if they buy the studio, then they own the franchise. They own FromSoft, and FromSoft games are successful because of multi-plat. So it's not a wild prediction. It's basing a prediction off of if they purchase the studio. Bo says, is college football as good as they say it is? The people that played college football say it's better than Madden, so. Brinkley says, if the merge is reviewed, and agencies are certainly required, reinsurance and also non-exclusivity to approve the merger. That's a good point, right? They could do exactly what they said about, you could buy this, but you can't make it exclusive for your thing. It would have to go, right? It would have to go multi-plat or whatever. That's true. Right? Like an Activision, like a Call of Duty type of thing. Titan says, yeah, I agree with 30. That's it. It's plausible and wise to not make FromSoft games exclusive. That's all I'm saying. Look, I'm not saying Sony bad and this is what's going to happen. Right? I'm saying that from a business sense, right? It would be a business sense, right? So let's look up, let me look up FromSoft real fast, right? Or another. Okay. So here, perfect. I don't know what these sales are based off of, right? I found an article from Screen Rant. Okay. Let me see if it kind of says it in the beginning here. Let me see. The 10 best-selling FromSoft games ranked. Okay. Popular was never been greater than the largely thanks to Elden Ring. The game of the year in 2022. Not only did the game achieve the status, but it has also managed to sell more copies than any other Souls game before and received more rewards than any other game in a single player or in a single year. Okay. So Monster Hunter Diary, 0.60, right? So 600,000 or 0.6 million. So was that 600,000? Okay. Then we have Armored Core 3, 0.67 million, right? So 670,000. I would assume that's what it is. Armored Core 2, 790,000. It says million, but it's point to a million, right? Demon's Souls 2020, 1 million, right? 1 million. Bloodborne, 2 million. Okay. Dark Souls 2, 3.92 million. Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice, 5 million, right? Which is great. Great. Okay. Dark Souls, 5.5 million. Okay. Dark Souls 3, 10 million. Okay. But wasn't Dark Souls 3 on multi places, right? It's not just on one platform, if I'm not mistaken. And then Elden Ring, 17.5 million. It's like next fucking level to what it was, right? Because they made it more broad-based, it's not as hardcore where players are like bashing their faces up against the wall, where people love that stuff. But the masses don't like that stuff, right? So now if you take that game, right? Let's say they are making a Demon's Souls, the next Demon's Souls, or they're making the Bloodborne, and they only put it on PlayStation. This is about what they're going to sell, because that's their fan base on that one platform. But if you want numbers like this, right? If you want numbers like this, 17.5 million, 25 million is what it's sold now. Yeah, Jason, right? 25 million now. Then it needs to be on multiplat, right? So, again, me saying that Sony, if they buy FromSoft, okay, or the people that own FromSoft underneath the umbrella, and they make an Elden Ring, the next Elden Ring, okay, their now new first-party title game would have to be multiplat, because otherwise they wouldn't make the sales like this. Mo says what's going to happen is that they're going to make the game exclusive to try and say more folks over to PlayStation. But we know the market doesn't do that, Mo. If they were doing that, then the other 67 million people that are on PlayStation 4 that can't play any of the games that are on PlayStation 5 right now that are coming out, they would move from there to over there. But gamers are not doing that. Console sales are dropping across the board. It's not a Sony thing. It's not an Xbox thing. It's not a Nintendo thing. Overall, less people are buying consoles. Just what it is. Artemis says, honestly, I think the merge is not going to go, not going through, because things like this don't get leaked out because stock prices. This can be also considered manipulation. Perhaps. Company says all the games on PlayStation has made exclusives started out as a partnership, and then after game success, Sony bought them. Examples are Returnal, Spider-Man, etc. They won't happen with FromSoft. But could with Bloodborne, Demon's Souls, since Sony owns the IP? Absolutely. I'm talking about Elden Ring specifically. If they made another Elden Rings, they would have to go multi-platform. Hence why I said it could be their first-party title game, single-player game that they're moving across and play on multiplat day and date. Now, obviously, let's say it happens today. They buy the thing today. Their next game is 3, 4, 5 years from now. So it's not going to happen like tomorrow, right? So whatever the Elden Ring, if there is ever an Elden Ring 2 or whatever it is down the road, we're talking 4 or 5 years down the road. This is not happening like next year, right? If the deal goes through and they're working on stuff, we're years off from specifically talking about the next Elden Ring, right? You could take the Dark Souls and whatnot and make that just PlayStation, because that's what you're getting. You're getting the 2 million, the 3 million, the 5 million. Okay, which would be good for the 61, 65 million units that are out there for Sony now, because the Dark Souls type of crowd is that Bloodborne type of crowd, is that hardcore group that's been playing there anyway. Dustin says, if you try to install it today, then the servers are slow. So many people are trying to get into Flight Simulator 2024. My son downloaded it like 2 months ago. So he's good. He's ready to go. Appreciate the info. Downloaded like September. What are you doing? It's been on his box, ready to go since September. Late September? A month and a half ago? Dolphin says, look up Dark Souls 3 Remastered. All right, let me look it up. One day ago, Dark Souls 3 Remaster is currently in the works. Rumor. Okay. Dark Souls 3 Remaster is apparently in the works, according to rumors circulating online. The age rather well, most definitely not in dire need to remaster, especially since both the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X run original release quite well. Although Dark Souls 3 doesn't need to be remastered as badly, the remaster makes sense considering the first 2 entries in the series got remastered. After other original releases, besides obvious images quality improvements, a potential release on Nintendo Switch successor, it'll be interesting to see if the other ways the game will be improved and remastered really works. Original Dark Souls 3 is now available on PC, PlayStation 4, Xbox One. Yeah, so that's multiplat, right? So that would also come out as multiplat as well, right? It'd be smart if they did that. And Krebsy says Dark Souls is owned by Bandai. Right. And if it was picked up by Sony or whatever, then, you know, each their own. But yeah, it's owned by Bandai. They own the IP. Brinkley says they showed IGN playing Flight Sim on their 120-inch monitor and worked, and it looked incredible that way. I bet you the guy with the cockpit in his living room that built the whole thing that we showed a couple weeks ago on stream. I bet you that guy's like he took off for the next week. Akuta Papa hasn't been in stream today, so he's probably been playing. He's probably got me in the background right now, and he's just lost inside of Flight Sim because it started at 11 o'clock. He's probably just playing that right now in the background. Right now, Akuta Papa's probably giggling because he's enjoying it so much, and he hears me chatting in the background saying, I'm not even gonna respond to you, 30. I'm enjoying Flight Sim right now. He's talking in Discord, is he? What's the last time he said in Discord? Oh, you're probably messaging him. He's not talking in the general chat. Thank you, Krebsy, for putting that there. Appreciate it. It might be a projector. They do have at Costco. They have a 96-inch flat panel TV. I asked my wife the other day. I go, "Hey, do we need a 96-inch television set?" And she goes, "No, our TV's fine." I looked at my son and said, "Make sure you play with the weights near the television set." He's like, "What?" And then like 3 seconds later, he's like, "Oh, I get it." I mean, I can't wiggle in a new television set if we don't have a television set that's broke. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I was cleaning the screen. I don't know what happened. Why does it look like you took a crowbar to it? It hit the weight over here. I have a 120-inch projector. I have a projector with a 120-inch screen. I've had that for 15 years. I gotta update my projector. Still looks good, but doesn't look great. Still fun to play on a big screen like that or watch movies. In my last house, we used to have a theater room, like I used to have in my, because it was before our kid. So we had two, in the condo that we used to live in, we had two master bedrooms and then a guest room. I turned one of the master bedrooms, I built like a, higher tier seats, and we had theater seats, and the whole thing was a theater room. But then when we moved to this house, we didn't have the room, so I just took the projector, put it in the living room, and then we have our television set there, and then the wall unit, and it's on top of the wall unit, and the screen just pulls down in front, and then we can watch movies on the big screen. Yeah, my screen rolls up and down. It's awesome. I have like an old in focus projector. We'll see what happens with the with them. I think it'll be a big move if Sony picks them up, for sure. All right, let's check Twitter here. See if we have anything going on with Twitter. Yeah, someone's bringing up Phantom Liberty. Last year could have won Game of the Year, but because they didn't do the DLCs, it had to go into best ongoing game. We said that yesterday. I was like, what's the day? Or I said it in Discord a couple days ago. I was like, Phantom Liberty should have been up for a Game of the Year then, in that sense. Yeah, Tencent, man, they buy. They have ownership in a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. So what careers do they have? Okay, hold on a second. There's a lot going on here. Can I pause that? Okay. So what careers do they have in Flight Sim? Yeah, they have a thing that's rotating here. I want to aerial advertising, okay? Aerial construction, okay? Aerial firefighting. Do they have to put aerial? It's a Flight Sim game. I think we know it's aerial. Agriculture, aviation, cargo transportation. We might do that. That seems like a good one. VIP charter service. Okay. Commercial flight. Scientific research. Oh, going into like tornadoes and hurricanes. That's pretty cool. Flight seeing. Okay, like tours. Glider pilot. Medvac. That could be interesting. You gotta get down there fast to get to someone and then take off. Skydive aviation. Do you skydive or do you just fly the plane to get people to jump out of your plane? Search and rescue. That'd be interesting. Remote cargo. Okay. Plot with the freaking sick tricks. Pilot with the freaking sick tricks. Okay. Aerial construction, which they already did. They already did that one. Already did that one. So it happens twice. Okay. So we got all right, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. We got 15 career paths in the game. That's pretty cool. People are stupid. They had to put on the pizza box, do not eat the box. That's ridiculous.
You serious?
That's ridiculous. More is coming. Can't say much. More careers. See, this is my biggest thing that I had an issue with Flight Sim 2020. I liked playing the game, but I told my son, right? I was like, I'm excited that the career paths are happening in this because it gives me something as a player to be like, I want to move forward with something. It gives me something to look forward to. Where just playing Flight Sim last time, I was like, it's missing like a career skill tree, something that happens. So now they have it in this game, which is much, much better in my opinion. I might play it more now, right? Because, yeah, it's cool just flying the plane. But for the people that don't want to just fly a plane from point A to point B, I want something. Why am I doing this? Am I leveling up? Am I owning a business? Am I doing something? I want more of like American Truck Simulator inside the Flight Sim type of stuff. Exclusive! Battlefield 6 is undergoing franchise's biggest playtest ever to prevent another disastrous launch. Oh, you just mean they're testing it like they're supposed to. Amazing. Oh, Star Wars Outlaws. Join us on November 21st at 10 a.m., which is Thursday. Okay. 10 Pacific, so 1 p.m., 11, 12, 1. As we showcase several significant updates from the update 1.4 celebrating the launch Star Wars Outlaws on Steam. Oh, see, they had to fix it because now they're putting it on Steam. They had to fix it because they're like, oh, why would I buy this? So on Xbox Game Pass this coming soon, it says they have No Nine Souls, Stalker 2, Aliens Dark Descent, Little Kitty Big City, Played Up, and Microsoft Flight Sim, which is out today. Supposedly Star Wars The Old Republic is the MMO. They are updating graphically and stuff soon, or is it out now? Dolphin says, if you have a transport Diddy and a VIP service, I'll quit that career. No, you just drop them off at the island. Come on, Dolphin. Drop them off at the island. Soccer 2's on PC Game Pass. You can play it today. Gotcha. Denzel Washington looks like he's lost a lot of weight. Maybe, was it for a part here? I'm going to bring this up. Now, I'm not saying he looks sickly. Obviously, he's getting older. But he looks...
Part? Yeah, you gonna write it?
He looks a little... I mean, he's getting up there in age. Was he it for a part? Obviously, yeah, I know he's got no hair, but... Does he... Basically, what they said for Phil Spencer the other day, he looks sickly. I don't want to say he looks sickly, but did he lose a lot of weight for a part recently? Right, Krebsy says he looks better than Phil. Yeah. He looks... I think it's... I'm going to chalk it up his age. I'm just going to chalk it up his age. Maybe he got into a part. He's on diet and exercise workout. Maybe that's what it is, Dustin. That's what I said for Phil as well. Right? That was my guess. I was like, I think Phil just lost a lot of weight. And it looks like when you're chubby in some way, shape, or form, when you thin down, you look sickly because people saw you last and you're like, wait a minute. Yeah, I'm not sure what his age is, Jones. I just saw it and I was like, does he look sickly or does he? Actors are a little weird because sometimes they put on weight or gain or lose weight for parts. So I didn't know if he was. $69. Giggity, giggity. Giggity, giggity. Guys, don't forget, we're like 1 week away from Black Friday, Cyber Saturday, Brown Thursday, Cyber Monday, who gives a shit Tuesday, whatever Wednesday. We got so many sales coming up like in a week. We got so many sales. If you miss Thanksgiving, then you got Black Friday, and then Cyber Saturday. Is it Cyber Saturday? Manic Monday. There's so many of them. I don't even know anymore. Elon is suing Twitch. Why is that? So here's a thing that Hogue Law said, and then J-Dub tweeted, and then Hogue Law brought back to his attention. He says, let me read this back down here. Sony is reportedly in talks to buy Elden Ring developer FromSoft, right? He says, honestly, I'd be more concerned about Sony accidentally bankrupting themselves than monopolizing games/anime. I just don't see a simple way for them to pay for this. Okay. Then J-Dub says, Xbox fanboy lawyer cries foul when Sony doesn't acquisitions but attacks FTC for a $100 billion Microsoft acquisition that leads Phil erasing red lines. Then Hogue Law comes out and says, I see why my timeline is so interesting now. Quote, Xbox fanboy lawyer simply wondered where the money was coming from, didn't cry foul, and if the FTC came after this deal, I think that'd be wrong too. Also, haven't played on my Xbox in weeks. That's interesting, though. It'd be interesting to see, because Sony is hurting right now, right? They just spent the amount of money they did for Concord Studio, Firewalk Studios, and also putting another $200 million towards that. Sales are slowing down for hardware right now. Not that it's a bad thing. I'm just saying it's slowing down. So it would be interesting. I didn't even think about that outlook. Can they afford this company? I don't know what the price is or what they were offering or whatnot. Be interesting. Salty says all the celebs are popping. Well, yeah, and now, but Denzel, it looks like age. That's what I'm going to chalk it up as. Maybe it's age and also him getting into shape for a part. I know he was in the new Gladiator movie and stuff like that, so. Elon Musk's ex sues Twitch in lawsuit. Alleged advertisers conspire to boycott the platform. Interesting. Okay. What else we got here? I don't think there's much else. All right. Tonight, we have a chatting with episode. The guest on tonight is... His channel is called Drunk 3PO. Those of you that know, Drunk 3PO, he has his own channel. I've been watching him for 5 years. He's got multiple channels. He's got like 6 channels. got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different channels, ranging from 100,000 subscribers all the way down to 2,000 subscribers or whatever. He'll be on the show tonight. We're going to talk to him. He's got a new book out that he's the author of. It's called, butcher it, Achromatic Chronicles. Green is the new one. He's got a campaign going on right now. That's not why we're bringing him on the show. We've been trying to get him on the show for 7 months, but he'll be on the show tonight. We're going to chat with him, get to know what he did. How does he balance so many channels and what he does in life and with YouTube and whatnot. So if you guys like it, come out tonight for chatting with Drunk 3PO. That'll be on tonight at 9 p.m., not 8 p.m., 9 p.m. He can't do 8 p.m. So 9 p.m. we'll go live tonight. So I will not be live at 8 o'clock. So don't go, hey, is 30 streaming tonight? I am streaming tonight. 9 p.m. We're just doing the podcast, chatting with right here on 30NSG. So if you like that, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Come on out. Join us for the conversation. And then tomorrow, what's it called? Tomorrow will be Greg Owen. He'll be on the Chatting With podcast as well tomorrow evening. So join me as we talk about like the Game Award show, just other news, catching up with Greg. It's been about 6 to 8 weeks since he's been on the last time, so we'll chat with him. So Greg Owen's on tomorrow evening at 8 p.m. on Wednesday's show. Chris says, where does Sony is hurting come from? The financial quarter results painted a different story, and numbers were up, and Concord lost them money, but it wasn't like the PlayStation was hinging on that game. No one said it was hinging on the game. We just said that they lost a lot of money with Concord, and that can they afford to pick up a studio? Again, I don't know the money, right, Chris? I'm not saying like the sky is falling. Right? I didn't even bring it up in the conversation that we had. I just read from an article or from a post on Twitter. I wasn't going deep into them not affording anything. I said I didn't even think about that. That usually when a company is losing money, they can't really just afford to spend money on something as big. Again, I don't know the price of it is. So settle down. No one said anything about Sony was crashing and burning. It was someone that said something on Twitter. So take with that what you will. Me personally didn't say anything about it. Salty says Jay's a good dude. Yeah. I've been following Jay Drunk 3PO since he had like 3,500 subscribers on his channel that's now over 100,000 subscribers. He's just a real chill guy, but he's changed and morphed over the years. You know what I mean? So I've been wanting to talk to him. I reached out to him back in March or April. It just never lined up, and then now he's got a book out, and he said, "Well, let me come on your show once the book is out," and it's in a where you can purchase it now. It's in a going through the Ripperverse. I was like, all right, that's a good thing. So we'll talk about that tonight as well. So it should be a good show. Should be a good show. So I'm done for the day. I appreciate you guys coming out and hanging out with us. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. I'll be back tonight, 9 p.m. tonight, for an interview with Drunk 3PO. That's 9 p.m. on Chatting With right here on 30NSG. Appreciate it very much. You guys have a good one, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.